Monique, Alexis, I'm so happy to be back. Thanks for welcoming me back into your home.
Absolutely. Thanks for coming back.
We were here for Hanukkah, and now I'm back for Passover. Alexis, tell me about the significance or the importance of Passover.
All right, so the Passover is a celebration of the Jewish people's exodus from slavery in Egypt under the leadership of Moses. The story is way too long to tell the whole thing in a few minutes, but I'm sure everyone has seen the epic movie, The Ten Commandments, which does a great job of telling the story. I do want to tell you about the significance of a few Passover traditions, though. First, the name Passover. To convince Pharaoh to release the Jews from slavery, God, or Hashem as we say in Hebrew, rained down 10 plagues on the Egyptians. The last plague was slaying of the firstborn. Hashem came from heaven to kill the firstborn male Egyptian child and cattle in every family, including Pharaoh's. Moses was ordered to tell all of his people to mark their doors with lamb's blood so that when he traveled through Egypt, he would pass over the Jewish homes. Secondly, many people have tried matzah at some point in their lives. Matzah is a flat, unleavened, or unrisen crispy bread that is traditionally eaten over Passover. In fact, on Passover, Jewish people are not supposed to eat anything that has risen or been leavened by natural fermentation. This is because when the Jews left Egypt, they were in a hurry and did not have time to let their bread rise. They literally made the dough, rolled it out, and let it bake on their backs as they entered their exodus in the desert. What they ended up with was a flat cracker-like bread, a lot like today's matzah.
Okay, and so we have some matzah there. Monique, tell us about the SEDER, because there are two SEDERs as part of this holiday, right?
Yes, so Passover runs for around 10 days, and the first 2 nights are our traditional SEDERs. So a SEDER is a traditional ceremony and a meal enjoyed for the first 2 nights of Passover. Besides the delicacies that I'm going to show you guys today, every table should be adorned by a traditional SEDER plate. And that's what we have over here. And I'm going to explain what each part of the SEDER plate is and what its significance is. So the maror, or bitter herbs, is the red horseradish or romaine lettuce, symbolizing the bitterness that the Jews faced in the Egyptian slavery. The second thing is karpas, or green vegetable, which is the celery, or even a boiled potato. Once it's dipped in water, the dripping off symbolizes the tears that were shed by the Jews during their slavery. Haroset is a reddish mixture made of grated apples, nuts, cinnamon, and wine, representing the mortar that the Jews used to construct structures during their slavery. The zaroa, or shank bone, is one of a lamb or goat bone, a chicken neck or wing. It represents the traditional sacrifice of a lamb or goat that was traditionally performed when the Jewish temple existed in Jerusalem and then was eaten as part of the Passover meal. The beitzah, or hard-boiled egg, represents the sacrifice but in a different way. A hard-boiled egg is traditionally the first food that a Jewish mourner eats after a funeral. And now that there is no Jewish temple in Jerusalem to make a sacrifice, the egg represents our mourning to that loss.
Okay, so
that's what
a
you
lot
have.
of history and importance in that one dish.
So the plate is always on a table for the SEDER. It's very important.
So now that we have the history, it's time to start cooking. And that's
Right.
why I'm here. I understand, Monique, you make a mean matzo ball soup.
Yes, so everybody that's Jewish eats matzo ball soup. We eat it when we're sick, we eat it when we're feeling good, we eat it all the time. It's called Jewish penicillin. I already prepared my soup yesterday because it is a long process. How I make my soup is I actually take whole chickens, I place it in cold water, we bring it up to a boil, and then we skim off the fat and the junk, I call it. And then we get going, and then we start with our vegetables. We peel, we put in a bunch of parsnips, carrots, celery, curly parsley, and whole onions.
Okay.
And you basically simmer that up for a long time, and it depends, everyone likes their soup differently. My family likes it strained and clean, so I actually drain the whole entire soup, but I do leave the whole carrots in the soup. So to start the matzo balls, we're going to make these ones from scratch. There's 2 ways to make matzo balls. and they're both actually the exact same way. So people say using the box, the pre-mix, is a cheat. It's actually not, because according to the recipes, they're actually the same thing. So we'll make it from scratch and we'll see how this goes. So gotta crack 2 eggs.
So it's a really simple recipe.
Very simple. And this isn't gonna make very much. So you're gonna have to, if you're doing a Jewish holiday, you definitely want to triple this one up. 2 tablespoons of oil, and we're gonna do a 1/2 cup of matzah meal. We're gonna mix it up, and lots of salt. And if you're using the premix box, you don't need to add salt. It's actually very salty already. So basically, when you take out a package, this is just 2 eggs and oil. It's the exact same thing. Some people prefer their balls hard, and some people prefer their balls soft and fluffy. This is a personal taste when it comes to matzo ball tasting. How do you like them?
I like them soft.
I like them either way. I'm not too picky. So it's just a personal preference.
I'm staying out of this one.
Yeah, I think you should. So now we're going to put it in the fridge, and we're going to wait 20 minutes for it to harden and get cold. So I took the carrots out of the soup because we're going to boil the matzo balls actually in the soup. The carrots are already cooked, so we don't want them to get too soft. So I took them out of the soup for now, and then we'll add them back after the matzo balls are cooked. We're going to bring this up to a boil. Okay, so we have most of our matzo balls formed. The water's boiling and we're ready to go. We're going to start popping them in.
So how long do they take?
These ones take about 40 minutes. And once we have all the balls inside, we're going to simmer it down and put the lid on and leave it for about 40 minutes. The ones from the packages are a lot less. Okay, our matzo balls are ready, and I'm going to make Julia her first bowl of authentic matzo ball soup. I'm so excited for you to try this. Let's see what you think.
Look at that. I'm going to taste your broth first because it smells so good. Mmm, delicious.
A lot of pressure.
Really, really good.
Good?
Thanks, Monique. Thanks, Alexis. Happy Passover.
Happy Passover.
Passover.
Thank you for coming.